Hi there, welcome back to part 7 of Let's Play Super Kirby Brothers. We're still on the Great Cave Offensive.
It's a big old game, but I've got the mic, which will make things interesting. So I'm going to kill one enemy with it there, just because I don't like those pineapples, they annoy me too much.
I hate pineapples, Jack.
But
I just go to the supermarket and smash them up.
Now, do you remember the infamous sleep ability?
Oh yes, the infamous. So is this sort of an obstacle course of sleep?
Yeah, there's a gust of wind that's blowing you back, and if you get sleeped, you have to go all the way back. But I think I did that pretty well.
Alright, like let's not get too complacent, obviously.
All that for
Earthbound.
Mr. Saturn.
Reference.
So I think I'll just sleep all the way back, and hooray.
I wish I could do that. I can't be bothered to be awake for this period of travelling. I'm just going to sleep and slide along the floor.
Well, you know, you do spend a lot of time travelling from place to place. It'd be nice to get some rest on the way instead of just walking.
But unfortunately, I'm not a floating pink ball.
Yeah.
As far as people listening know.
So, you've seen quite a lot of this game now. Are you remembering any of it, or is it?
I am certain I've never played this one.
Okay, so
I've definitely played Fun Pack, but I don't think I played this one. Or Superstar.
Right,
to
yeah.
give it its name on this ROM.
Fun Pack, Superstar, Love Triangle.
I love Triangle.
I don't know. I can't do the silly names like off the top of my head like you can. There's a little pretzel donut thing.
I definitely think I'd come back to it though. Like I might try and hunt it down on the SNES.
It's definitely worth having. It's a nice thing to have. But if you want, like, there's a good experience you can get from getting the DS version. Do you have a DS?
Yeah. I didn't know that it was on the DS.
Well, they brought out something called Kirby Superstar Deluxe, which is basically an extension to this. There's all kinds of new games and new bosses. Like, see, this room's annoying because it scrolls as soon as you get in to like a skull made of those fire things. You have to get this mannequin like instantly, otherwise you have to avoid death.
Yeah.
So I don't like that room. I think that's a bit of a... Considering this is a game I would recommend someone like my sister play, like someone who's not that, like, I wouldn't make Lily play Castlevania, for example.
Yeah.
But you know, she's played a couple of Kirby games and she's completed them without any help. I just don't like the idea that she'll have done all this hard work to get here and then get crushed by like a wall that she didn't see coming.
Well, I think it's actually good in that it's catering to different kinds of gamers, because as you say, it's completely optional. That's meta. Opening treasure box to get treasure box.
Wow, yeah, I've never even thought about it that way, but treasure boxes, that could be from anywhere. Any RPG ever.
That's definitely true. But no, I like the fact it does that, and I think it's also, again, the Great Cave Offensive seems to be showing off sort of some really the best ideas of level design. Like the other ones seem to be sort of Kirby basic, and this seems to be, you know,
this is
pushing the mechanics of the game further.
But you can see why I like it, can't you? Because this is a very definitive sort of Kirby experience in the sense that your powers are actually useful for exploration, and
they seem to be more part of the game rather than
just something that's tacked
fun
on.
add-on, yeah.
Yeah. Because like you find that if you play, say, like Kirby Mouse Attack on the DS, like the powers aren't even really useful for anything. Like it's just whatever is the most fun for you, whether you want to be a UFO or a beast. It's just, I mean, obviously they are useful sometimes, but again, it's just it's just a taste thing. Whatever makes you laugh the most.
Yeah, I find Kirby Mouse Attack is really hard on the PC because your mouse. So back to the game. You're on plasma. Right, do you have to charge the plasma up by moving along?
Yeah, you have to charge it up like by using static. So basically, if you don't do any sort of movement, you just get like a tiny little needle, and it builds up in levels. So you get bigger range, more damage, and all kinds. But you actually need it in this. There's a bomb block down here, yeah, and I need it to get through to the other side, and I can't reach it from there because I can't. You can only use your little. Sort of water gun attack underwater. So I need to go down here with the plasma ability, charge it up, and then fire it in that direction, hit the bomb, and you'll hear it go off, and then I can go through there. Now I've got to be careful here because I love the plasma ability, but firing a massive ball of death at a mirror guy and having it bounce back at you is just not fun.
No.
But
it's quite funny for me. Like I'd find it funny.
It's definitely a sort of supercharged super shooter from Brawl reflected with like a cape or something.
Well, I wouldn't know, Jack, because Ganondorf can't reflect things.
But you know, you did ask about speedruns in an earlier video, and just because this ability can be spammed so easily, like if you just like mash the D-pad, you can get full power quite quickly, and you can just keep on launching it at bosses just again and again and again. So if you're doing like the arena, this is definitely the choice ability you want to be using. I know you said you like beam, but this is the definitive projectile weapon in the game.
Oh, cool. I'm surprised you haven't used it more then.
Yeah, well, I found like even when I was playing it originally, that I didn't want to use it too much because it just made the game not too easy. I just seemed I wasn't.
Repetitive.
Yeah, I just feel like I wasn't getting the full range of boss patterns and fun out of it. I felt like I was missing out on
Bombing the shit out of Wispy Woods.
See, Wispy Woods wasn't ever really a fun boss to begin with. Like, you inhale apples, you fire them at a tree. I'd rather just throw bombs at them. So this is another example where the ability is crucial. There's an upward current in that pit of water.
Oh, okay.
So I have to
Sink and
then do it. So that's a cool crown.
Fantastic.
Lovely. At the bottom of this well. And in this top room, I think there'll be another example of where we need to use abilities to get to a certain treasure.
I like to whenever I see the can power up, I love to think it's just an empty can and Kirby just eats the pure metal.
The metal.
Yeah.
So in that room there was a thing to cut, there was a post to hit, and there was another bomb block which seemed to be just out of reach. So if we'll go in there again, there's that bomb block. I think that's the way I will get in, because basically I don't see how, other than creating like a helper for the pure purpose of like sacrificing him for a second power, you need to cut that first, get rid of your cutter ability, and then kill a hammer guy, and then do it that way. So I'm just going to use the yo-yo, I think.
That seems safe. I mean, the hammer guy seems pretty rare, so.
Yeah, he's not everywhere, and he's only rare because his picture's badass, as you say. But I think, yeah, I haven't got enough of range on the yo-yo to get that, but I think it might be another case of get the plasma dude. So I might do a bit of backtracking and do that. Sorry, you were going to say something there, I interrupted you.
No, I was just yawning, sorry. Not that I find this boring anyway. I wouldn't really think that, but I'm just very tired.
We have been doing this for well over an hour now.
Yeah.
Wow. So,
it's not even that, but let's not go into my appalling sleep plan.
let's not get personal, eh?
So back to the game.
Yeah. I mean, this is irritating. Well, that's actually not so irritating because actually I think I decide to do the boss first just because I'm here, like while I'm here type thing.
Yeah.
Because it's not that difficult. So plasma. I'm only doing the plasma for this boss just because this boss, just for no good reason, I found it ridiculously hard when I was young. It took me loads of goes. And it's quite good because he changes colour and he goes invisible, but I don't think I'll give him much of a chance to do so. He's called Chameleon Arm or Chameleon Arm, and he just like flies around the stage and does all kinds of attacks, but he goes invisible sometimes, so you gotta be careful, because he can eat you.
Rocky seems to do a lot of the work there, I'm not gonna lie, Jack.
He's a good fella. I'll reward him by vomiting a tomato into his mouth.
I think that's a good way of rewarding anyone, Jack.
But I like the stone ability because there's lots of
This is incredibly Donkey Kong country.
totally, this is a bit rip-offy. But the thing is, when you're recording on SNES 9X, there's a bit of lag, isn't there? So, like, that section can be a bit funny, but it's alright. Those candles, sorry, in the middle can be lit up to make the room brighter, but as you can see, you don't need to do that at all.
Is there any benefit to that?
And not as far as I'm aware, like...
You don't get, like, treasure for lighting them all or whatever?
Maybe there is. I hope not, because I think I'll have forgotten to do that otherwise. I really don't think so. If I have failed to do that, I'll go back and do it.
We'll just edit. in a later video if we miss anyone.
I really doubt it though. I really just think it's for the sake of it.
Yeah. Again, mixing the level design up. So this is Kirby falling face down.
I forgot there was a platform at the bottom of that. So that was just a free fall.
That's a really loud laugh.
So, you know, I could. No, I think I'll go back and indecision. I'll go back and get that treasure I was trying to get before, because I think that will just clear that area up nicely. Yeah.
Good shout, Marshall. Just plummeting straight to his death.
I thought it was because there's sections where you come back into the main castle screen and you just fall down, but no, that was a level, and I forgot there was a bottomless pit at the bottom. So that shows you how much I've forgotten. Anyway, I'll just open it. Oh, God's sake. I'll open up the area again.
You have to reopen it?
Well, the bombs respawn every time you leave a room.
Yeah.
So since I haven't blown it up this time, I have to do it there. That's been done. I also like the aesthetic of this. I mean, this really does feel like a really big game just because the backgrounds and all the levels just seem really grand.
It's got some nice visual design. Like, I mean, Kirby games are always sort of colourful, but this all really mixes it up, and you get a lot of different, as you say, like sort of backgrounds and styles and stuff.
It's a very pretty game. That's why I think a lot of kids do like it, just because it's just visually appealing. But one thing about Kirby, which is something, it might be my opinion, but when you think Kirby, you think, oh, you know, cutesy pink character. But a lot of the, you know, things that happen to him in like levels he experiences are quite dark in many ways. Not like, you know, horror, but just a bit freaky. Like, there's that character Marks in Milky Way Wishes, and he just looks like a bit freaky on his own.
Yeah.
And he's a big fangy monster in space, and you know, Kirby almost suffocates in that game. Like, he gets blown into the vacuum of space, and he almost dies, kind of thing. But in the deluxe version, the DS game, there's 4 bosses that get a makeover, and like they look different and they're a bit harder. So, for example, there's a masked Dedede who's like an improved version of the ring boss in Spring Breeze.
Yeah.
And he's got loads of moves. He's a bit faster, and he's just harder to beat, basically. And Marks has one called Mark's Soul, which is just like a sort of a darker version of him. And when he dies with this really horrible scream. It's freaky.
And on that lovely note, I think that's the end of this part.
Yes, we'll see you again for part 8, where I continue with the Great Cave Offensive. We've been the Timeshitters.